My life isn't what I see on the news.
It's not a magazine ad
or a music video.
My life is unique. I am learning who I am, where I stand,
how I fit in. Real life is bigger than fantasy.
This is Real Life Teens.
Dating is a major part of high school social life.
A date is basically if you're with the person, you like them and they like you.
It's just all about dating. I mean, you're gonna date girls.
See guys like around school and I think, oh wow, they're cute. I want to go out with them.
But it can have a darker side.
They want to do everything too quickly and when they're not ready.
A lot of people have experimented with drugs and sex. She woke up the next day and she realized that she'd been raped.
This program covers the dark side of dating, avoiding the risks. We'll show why gossip is a problem.
Girls are very big gossipers. It's not everyone else's business.
We'll learn why refusal skills are so important.
Girls give you mixed signals sometimes. No means no.
We'll cover some of the risks of sex.
People don't understand until they see somebody with AIDS dying from it.
We'll show you why alcohol and drugs are so dangerous when dating.
People drink to be cool, and they don't know it's reality anymore.
And how to watch out for date rape drugs.
She's like, oh, well, it couldn't have happened to me. Or if it did, I must have said it's okay.
By knowing the potential risks of dating, you help protect yourself to make dating a fun, learning, loving experience. Let's start with the painful reality of gossip in high school. High schools are notorious for gossip.
When one thing happens here, the whole school knows about it within 2-3 hours.
I hear it all the time about girls, about how she slept with him or he slept with her.
They'll be out with a guy and then like the next day he'll be like, oh yeah, guess what I did with so-and-so. I hate that.
And gossip can be damaging and hurtful.
If it's good gossip, then that's one thing, but that's hardly ever happening. And I think that it degrades a girl.
Not only is gossip invasive, it's often a lie.
When they lie about something that didn't happen on the day, you know, when it pisses me off so much when guys lie.
And then you go up to the person you ask them about, and they'll be like, what are you talking about? That's not even true.
Problem is, gossip can turn a fun date into a nightmare at school.
They give you this reputation that will never go away, and then guys take advantage of you because they hear that about you.
Gossip can be started by girls.
Girls that are jealous of you that
want your
want
guy.
to be with your boyfriend, then they'll make up things.
Or by boys at school.
They just do it to look good in front of their friends. They tell their friends, and then their friends like blab, yeah, I got with this girl, I scored with her.
They do it to make themselves look like, you know, oh, like they're cool or they're a pimp. Oh yeah, we did this, you know, we were making out, and it's like they didn't even like touch you the whole night. That's what makes me mad, and I see it happen to all of my other friends, you know.
Often, boys gossip to brag.
They're not showing to their guys like the way they really feel about the girl. It's just like outward impressions.
Boys may not share their true romantic feelings and cover them up with bragging.
You wouldn't really be telling like your best friend like, man, she wrote me this poem. You like, well, at least in high school you wouldn't be saying that. So.
But boys soon learn that gossip and bragging hurts their girlfriend, and that's no way to succeed in a relationship.
It hurts people a lot when people can't keep them to themselves what they do behind closed doors. And they think that it's okay to share it with the world, but maybe the other person's gonna get hurt by what you share.
If you really care about the girl and you want to keep her, you can't do that. You can't spread rumors about her. True, I mean, even if they're true.
And when a boy gets a reputation for lying, he may have problems finding dates.
If they're gonna lie again, why should I go out with them? You just have to choose the right guy. I mean, you have to trust that he's not gonna tell all of his friends, oh, we did this and this and this.
Some guys will like a girl a lot, and they won't want to ruin anything, so they won't say anything at all.
Part of being mature is learning the art of discretion about your private life.
Probably just tell certain people, like don't go around just telling everybody, because then everybody's gonna get a bad impression of her.
It's not everyone else's business. If she trusts you with it, that means she likes you, and you shouldn't screw it up.
That means share confidential information with only friends you trust.
I try not to get involved with people like that, the kiss and tell or whatever.
Somebody's not gonna go out and tell everybody else.
In high school and in the future, Be careful who you share your private life with.
Having a real close friend, like they won't blab to everybody and gossip until they'll just keep it to themselves.
It can help if a couple talks about gossip before it has a chance to start.
Talk to them about it, say that if anything happens, then, I'll tell you. If you hear anything from anybody else, then come and talk to me about it. Don't just believe it without talking to me about it.
Do your part. If a rumor comes your way, don't spread it onward.
I've done it myself. Someone told me that I don't really know or whatever, that they did this with somebody, and then, I'll tell my friends about it, and then it goes around.
And don't believe rumors that are lies.
Girls tend to believe, rumors about their boyfriend, that he cheated.
Protect yourself from rumors. An easy way is to date in a group.
That way, if someone says something about you, then one of your friends is there and said, oh, I was there. That didn't happen. That wasn't true.
Relationship gossip is painful.
It's very hard to deal with, gossip, just to know that people are thinking that about you. And I think the best thing to do is just ignore it. Ignore it, because your true friends and your true guy friends aren't going to believe what they hear.
Learning to communicate is key to success now and later in life. Dating is supposed to be fun, but not when pressure is overwhelming. That's next.
There's so much pressure to just go out and do things that you're not yet ready to do.
Pressure in dating is a common stress, particularly pressure to have sex.
They get pressured into it, but I don't really understand it. If that's what they believe, then that's what they believe, and that's what they should stand up for.
Don't let people pressure you, such as, for example, the guy. Always do what you want to do. If you don't feel comfortable with something, don't do it.
They want to do everything too quickly and when they're not ready. And that causes a lot of problems and regret later on.
I just think there's a lot of peer pressure on sex. I don't think it's mostly, though, to have sex. I think a lot of it is not to.
Remember, it's your choice. Some teens even choose not to date at all.
I think basically most people in high school are too immature to really have relationships.
Find a group of friends who won't pressure you and will support your decisions.
Girls are probably more supportive about sex issues than guys are.
Guys can just be the same, just in their own way.
I think if they said they're scared, girls respect that.
I've had heart-to-heart talks with my friends about things.
I just tell the ones I trust a lot, the ones I really trust.
Sometimes identifying your fears by talking about them is your best defense. But what happens when others ignore your wishes and pressure becomes dangerous? That's next. Communication in a relationship can be confusing.
Girls give you mixed signals sometimes. Sometimes they'll be like, no, but they really do want, whatever they want you to do.
But things get especially messy when the message is vague.
If they say no and start to smile and, oh, we can't do this and that, and they're laughing about it, then, they're just trying to cover up for themselves.
Unfortunately, problems arise when messages are misinterpreted.
Some guys, they don't even know when no means no.
Probably the way they say it in their voice. Some girls say no and they really mean yeah, you can tell by the way they say it.
A real clear signal, I think, is when they're just no and they grab your hand.
Like facial expressions.
Yeah. That's the basic no, is when they grab your hand.
No means no, and don't get caught in a room with the girl.
If they say no and start to get mad and everything, then it means to stop.
They usually just stop.
You know if you're pushing the limit or not.
Not necessarily. When the decision over sex is left vague, problems arise.
Sometimes you have to tell them over and over, no, until they really know that you're telling the truth. Because if you just say no, maybe they'll think, hard to get or something.
They aren't playing hard to get when they are serious.
In an issue as important as sex, try to use clear words, not vague innuendos.
You should be very no, not no, stop, no. You have to say no and mean no.
No means no.
You have a responsibility to take no, regardless of how it's said, seriously, or risk date rape. Rape is a criminal offense.
Then it could be a step further, which will lead to a police investigation.
Date rape is when the girl has not given her consent or is in a state that she's not able to give consent.
If you are the victim of sex without consent, you need to get help.
That happens with a lot of girls if they've been raped. They're like, well, should I go tell other people? Won't I be, condemned? Isn't it a bad thing?
And then they're hurt and devastated and feel violated.
You definitely need to tell somebody if you feel that you've been violated in any way. It's something that you definitely need to tell.
Talk to your parents, doctor, or other responsible adult who can help you sort out the pain and confusion of date rape. You owe it to yourself to get help. Next, the dangers of drugs and alcohol on a date. Safe dating is all about controlling the risks, so alcohol and drugs can lead to disaster.
A lot of the date rape happens probably at parties, like when girls get drunk or whatever. And they probably really don't want to do it. But
They get
talked into it.
The problems created by drinking and drugs on a date are obvious.
They get so messed up in their mind and they don't know what's reality anymore.
And losing awareness of reality means you are at risk.
Tons of underage people drink. Pretty much everybody is drinking.
It's used at parties.
People sell drugs at school, corners, parties. Anywhere you go, you can get them.
Drugs and alcohol are especially dangerous when on a date.
Some people, when they smoke herb, they don't know it's laced with cocaine or something, and then they don't know what they're taking in.
Drugs like ecstasy can make it impossible to stay in control.
Everything feels good, and you're so friendly, and you crave sex.
And many teens get into situations they regret.
Had so many friends who have gotten involved in drugs.
And it's just horrible. Drug use is pretty high among teens.
Even more alarming are the date rape drugs, which render their victims unconscious.
The date rape drugs are really prevalent now, and that's something that girls have to be very aware of. And that she may not even be drinking. That's something that, a date rape drug can be dropped into a soda.
Date rape drugs are no joke. And if the victim slips into a coma and dies, it's murder.
Someone had put something in her drink, and she woke up the next day and she realized that she'd been raped. But she's just so reluctant because she doesn't know if she's really been raped, because she's like, oh, well, it couldn't have happened to me. Or if it did, I must have said it's okay.
Most teens know murder and rape are serious offenses, so don't even think of using one of these substances. Even if you don't drink or use drugs, talk to your friends before a party. Make sure you get immediate help if someone appears to be the victim of a date rape drug. Next, the darker side of sexual intimacy. By now, most students have heard all about the risks of unprotected sex. Pregnancy.
There's a lot of students that are pregnant with kids.
I do know a lot of people who got pregnant. Some of them had to leave school.
And the dangers of sexually transmitted diseases.
I've met people with AIDS when I went through my education for it, and it's hard. It just makes you cry because it's so horrible what this disease has done to people.
There are numerous diseases that can be spread through unprotected sex.
Herpes, gonorrhea, chlamydia. I had a close family member who didn't think it was going to happen to her. She went out, had sex with tons of guys, and she got chlamydia, and she got gonorrhea. And she never thought it would happen to her, and when it did, she felt so ashamed of herself.
And there are other uncurable STDs besides AIDS.
I met a woman who had herpes, and it just ruined her, fertility. She couldn't have children afterwards, and she felt really bad because she messed around so much in high school with guys.
Sexual responsibility means sex with a condom every time. But the only sure prevention is
abstinence. Abstinence is 100% effective.
Your sexual behavior is up to you. Be sure you make your decisions ahead of time, and be sure you avoid the risks and pressures which can turn dating into danger. Dating and relationships can be a rewarding part of growing up.
Dating is quite important, actually.
That's like a major part of high school social life, having a boyfriend, who's dating who did what with who. That's just high school.
And dating doesn't have to be risky or dangerous.
Dating for me means hanging out. I don't call it dating.
The dating experience can be positive if you think ahead.
You get to share your feelings and your problems with somebody. You're not just going through the hardships yourself.
But too often, teens experience the darker side of dating. Gossip.
Gossip, it hurts people. It really does. It hurts people a lot.
Hurt.
Feeling used by boys, feeling used sexually, boys cheating on them.
And risks.
To prevent it, you need condoms, birth control, any contraceptive method.
Don't go at it alone. Talk to parents, teachers, friends, and decide ahead of time how to avoid the risks.
They want to do everything too quickly and when they're not ready.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, and safe, healthy dating is a good start. Thanks for watching Real Life Teens.
Boy.